welcome to today's episode of the Heaven and Elle podcast. For those of you who have never seen an episode before, I am your host, Elle Edwards, founder of the Itchy Soul Playground and Yuya Media, and it's my pleasure and delight to be with you today. So today is the 1st of July, it's the first day of the second half of the year, and that's blowing my mind just a little bit. And one of the things, as I was preparing for today and asking Holy Spirit, okay, what are we going to explore in tomorrow's episode of the podcast? He said, love. I was like, again? Still? He said, yes, it's the perfect thing, in inverted commas, to explore as you step into this second half of the year. Because no matter where we are at in the year, no matter what day of the week it is, no matter what week of the month or year it is, love is still critical and holds everything together. And that reminder that pops in my mind even as I say that is that God is love. And so when we sing songs about love makes the world go round, love is all you need, actually it's God is making the world go round. God is all that we need. And so I know that not everybody knows that. Not everybody yet is letting God love them yet. At the same time, that doesn't stop him from being there whispering his love and sharing his heart and his delight. Now, I had a picture of this yesterday through an interaction with my eldest two. So some of you know that my eldest daughter, she passed her driving test yesterday afternoon. Woohoo! Bless her. She's been very patient, in fairness, because she turned 17 well over a year ago. And pre-COVID, if you can remember a time before COVID, whoa. So back in February of 2020, before, when COVID was a whisper, but we weren't really aware of what was going to happen, she had her birthday, and the day, I think it was, if I remember correctly, the day or two after her birthday, she had her first driving lesson, and she did her theory test, and she passed it. She was all set to go great guns. She wanted to be passed by the summer, and then dun dun dun, disaster struck. COVID. And so yesterday was the first opportunity she had. She'd had other tests booked, but they'd been pushed out because of COVID. So yesterday was the first opportunity she had to do her test, and she passed. Woohoo! And so now she has freedom. And the funny thing is, because she's passing over a year later, she's now also an adult. And it's this funny kind of balance between yes, she's an adult, so I, as her parent, can't tell her what to do anymore. Not that I've ever really been a dictatorial, you must do this type of person. I'm much more of a, okay, you want to do this thing? Is that a good idea? Let's explore that and have a conversation around it. But this picture I had last night, so she went out with her friends to basically drive around places. Because I said to her this morning, what did you do? We just drove. I'm like, okay. And that was fun for you? Yes. Okay, good. One of the lovely things, though, as she was out and about, my other daughter, who was at a friend's house, when she needed picking up, I didn't have to do it. My eldest daughter went and picked her up instead. And there was this interaction between the two of them via WhatsApp, because it's 2021, this is how we communicate. Saying, look, when you need a lift home, just ring me. Okay, yeah, I will. And they had that conversation and they got home safely and it was all great. Why am I telling you this? The reason I'm sharing this with you, it gave me a picture of us and God and how we do life, and how, as a parent, I am not all-knowing as a parent. Yes, I've lived several more years on this planet than they have, but we're still kind of just making up as we go along. Let's be quite transparent. That said, with a little bit of age, we've experienced stuff. We've made a few more mistakes. And so this idea as a parent is that we're guiding our young people along and nudging them. What if that is a little whisper of God? Now, God, of course, is all-knowing. He can see the beginning from the end and all the bits in between and all the nuances, and how he does that blows my mind completely. But this reminder that he knows all that stuff, and he'll be nudging and going, ooh, and sort of guiding you along. But at the same time, we always have that choice. Like yesterday, when I messaged them and said, look, it might be a good idea if you don't stay out too late, because this is the first time that she's driving in the dark. She's just passed her test. And they were like, yeah, that's sensible. But at the same time, it was a dialogue back and forth, a little bit of a nudging. And so this picture of how we, whether it's parents with their children or whether it's, people with, friends that we love, no matter what your setup is, you all have people that you care about. And you will step into situations today, tomorrow, the next day, in the times to come, where you feel like you have an opinion on this thing that's unfolding, and you can nudge them along, and the person that you're doing life with has that choice then to listen to you or not. And sometimes they might choose not to listen to you, and then it doesn't go quite how it was anticipated it would. And you feel a little bit like, yeah, I kind of knew that was going to go like that, and I did try and warn you, but you still love them. You don't stop loving them just because they chose in their infinite wisdom not to listen to you. That's their choice. And so it was this picture I had of God loving on us, with the difference that he does know all of those things, but he's still guiding us gently. He's not there going, you need to do this thing. I mean, there are times where you might hear quite explicitly God going, do this thing, it would be really good for you. But even then, you still have a choice. And the picture that I had, that reminder, was that no matter what choices you're making, his love for you is never ending. He is loving on you continuously all the time, even when you don't yet let him love you. And so I know this is something that we've explored before, but it was the piece that was on my mind. And so I wanted to, I didn't want to, I felt it was important to share the pieces that Holy Spirit had laid out. Speaking of Holy Spirit, there was that announcement that I promised yesterday. So Playground ladies know this already because we talked about it yesterday. But from today, the Holy Spirit love notes that until now have been going just to the ladies in the playground, they're going to be available for anybody who wants them via email. They are also available as like little books on Amazon, and I'm going to be compiling those into one longer book at some point quite soon too. But if you're somebody who's not a member of the Playground ladies, you do not need to sign up for this. You will already get them via email, and you will continue to do so. But if you're somebody who's not a member of the Itchy Soul Playground, and if you're not and you want to join us, youear.com/join. But I'll put that in the show notes. But if you're somebody who would like to hear God's heart, this is what this is about. As I sit, Holy Spirit, God, what's on your heart today? What will you share with us today? And ultimately, it's all about love in various different contexts. But it's those whispers. And what started as an exercise just between me and Holy Spirit over a year ago now has become this thing that I have the privilege of sharing with the ladies in the playground, and now with you more widely. So if you're somebody who's been following along, maybe you've seen some of the little sound bites on social media and you'd like to enjoy the full love note, you can go to youear.com/love notes and you can sign up for that. And again, I'll put those links in the show notes as well. But it's really an opportunity every weekday morning to have that glimpse of God's heart for you. And there's also going to be in there, because this happens quite a lot, nudges from Holy Spirit of things to ask him. So he says, ask me to do this thing. Ask me to give you this new picture of my love, whatever that looks like. So that at the same time, this is also about encouraging you to have those conversations with God yourself. Because as we've explored before, we don't need to delegate hearing from God to pastors and preachers and prophets and the ultra holy people. God is whispering to everybody. We read it in Isaiah 65 a few days ago. God is reaching out through the we had this picture in the You Year book of like radio waves being sent out. So God's words are being sent out to you. He's whispering his heart to you. And so the other part of these love notes is then encouraging you to tune into him and ask him, what are you saying? What's your heart? What's your heart for me? Because he wants to talk to you. He loves you and he wants to do that relationship with you. So youear.com/love notes is where you can get those. With that said, this is the end of today's episode. We've had some technical hiccups along the way because that's how we do life, but it's actually a picture, really. We do life and sometimes it's a bit bumpy, but that love piece doesn't stop because God doesn't stop and he is love. So I hope this is of encouragement to you today. Remember that you are loved. Thank you for being here, and I shall catch up with you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.